here.
Hello.
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 Hi. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Are we? Oh my gosh! Of course you can't, and that's when my computer is like, time to slow down. Hi everyone, welcome back to Wisdom Saves, the campaigning, which has a name. It's coming. Trust us. It's gonna be something. It's gonna have a name. I'm Dom. I'm the Dungeon Master, and joining us once again are the rest of our lovely players. Does everyone remember the order from last time? We were going clockwise. Why don't we go ahead and introduce ourselves real quick before we
didn't
get back to the session?
We didn't change Eridan.
I made a new overlay so that Eridan wasn't first. But
we didn't put it up, so you still got to do it.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's my bad.
We can do reverse. We can start from Ali and then go backwards.
We can do that if you want to.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do counterclockwise. Change things up.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Alishiera. I'm a content creator for Legacy Esports and a streamer slash cosplayer slash baker. We're currently like making this gingerbread crepos from Age of Empires on stream and stuff. Yeah, I'm playing Brynjael, who is a very good Goyle. She's a paladin.
I don't like this order. We've now started with the most impressive person intro.
I know, right?
No, that's good because it means we could just let everyone down in a series.
It's all right. I'm about to bring the standards way down. I think I'm next. Hi, I'm Nicole. I swear I do creative things. I just don't put them on the internet. So, yeah, I'm playing Eminence. She is a disastrous, self-centered young tiefling who has daddy issues.
Yep.
Let's keep the ball rolling. Look, I think you're muted.
We should just rate our characters by how many daddy issues we have.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
Eridan, I believe you're up next, but I think you're muted.
Oh no, we still can't hear.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm on push to talk. Hey everyone, I'm Josh. I play Eridan. He is a former party boy, I guess, with terrible future planning skills who is on the run. I'm not a content creator. Most of my creative stuff's online, but yeah.
That's how most personal introductions. Hi, my name's Dom. Let's keep it moving. I'm afraid I don't have my Twitch open right now because my computer can only run Discord and one browser. So I trust you guys to figure out the forum.
Okay. Well, hello. Wait, are we doing you? Are we doing me?
No, we're going clockwise. It's you. It's you.
Okay. Hello, I'm Kat or Jimmy. In case anyone's wondering why I have long hair today, it's because I couldn't fix my hair, so I'm wearing a wig. But I am a streamer and an artist. I do some art and stuff, so if you want to check it out, then do that or not. I play Aery, who is a bisexual disaster elf boy, sorcerer, and I love him a lot. Now Mel.
Up to Aery. Hi, I am Maleficent or Mel. I am also a content creator, streamer, cosplay, whatever. I'm wearing fake horns on my head today. They're part of a filter and they're the best part of my introduction, I think. But I play Oriana. She is also a disaster, but like an angry one. She also has some daddy issues, which it makes sense because Eminence is her sister and they have the same daddy. But different issues.
There's our tagline. Same daddy, different issues.
We could just, so this campaign was originally called Dungeons and Daddy's Issues. We could just rename it Dungeons and Daddy Issues.
Two daddy, two issues. Anyway, I am BurrowsRed. I also do stuff. I'm actually working on a series about making notes for D&D, so check that out. Otherwise, I'm Natalie. She's a half orc. She's pretty alright. It's bad.
Very alright.
So do you wanna show us your notes right now so that we can get an idea of what we're in store for?
I
Mm.
mean, do you want nice looking notes or do you want my scribbly notes? From
Chaos
the
notes.
stuff?
Page that you made.
My thing. Wait, hang on. I can show you some cool art. Okay, so it's actually revolving around Natalie. This is my new Natalie notebook. And I have a whole bunch of shit. So, let me pull it open. I just recently put up a time lapse. Sorry, it's painted. So it's here.
Aw.
It's very cool.
So pretty.
And I've
Oh
got,
no,
like-
it's backwards on screen, but you can still see how
yeah.
pretty it is.
But like, it
Yeah.
has like little things for make your notes better. Pretty cool. It's my show off.
Awesome. Cool. Very awesome. Well, glad that we have everyone introduced once again. Is there going to be a point where we like not introduce ourselves? I think we like
I don't know.
for the crit roll style. Hello, welcome to the show. This is us. Let's roll or something.
But that said, everyone
Oh.
knows who they are.
That's true.
That's
It's also
true.
Yeah,
true.
baby.
Everyone,
also very true.
everyone on the internet knows who they are. People.
And
know who they are.
I will cut anyone that doesn't know Laura Bailey. I will personally come to your house. I will find you.
She's the voice of so much stuff right now. She's Miss Fortune
Yeah,
in Runeterra, which is crazy.
which I love.
Yeah. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. This is not a Critical Role fan cast. This is in fact our own D&D stream. Speaking of which, let's actually get into it. Let's roll. Dang it! We need to come up with a tagline or something.
Less, milady.
Bless. Yeah.
Let's
Bless roll.
explore our
So-
deep-seated daddy issues.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's explore daddy issues. Where last we left our group of characters, the 6 of them had been kidnapped through various different means upon entering the town of Goldford, or was it Goldcrest? Goldford.
Goldford.
Goldford. Whereupon they came to consciousness, finding themselves in an underground lair specifically designed to look like a villain's lair where bad things had been happening, effectively, making it seem as if the players were trying to be framed by something that was going to happen. However, players being players, they had woken up, broke their way out, killed the resident goblins, made their way out to the guards that were stopping them, and then proceeded to kill most of them as well. Well, I suppose half, less than most. At which time they befriended one and captured another, interrogated both of them separately, and got 2 interesting stories before deciding to take this information of some sort of plot that the players had discovered to the mayor of Goldford. Upon arriving, the party did the most brilliant thing ever and split right the heck up, sending 3 of them in to chat with the mayor, at which time they thought things might be a little sus, judging by the way that he was reacting to some of the questions that they were saying. And after the mayor sent a few people to investigate and look towards it, locked the 3 of them in his study with guards outside of the window. In an attempt to create a diversion, the 3 outside on the street created a little bit of chaos, which just so happened to have coincided with the 3 inside of the study breaking out of the window after aggravating the captain of the guard, a Quadrum Redrook, father of Rilio Redrook, whom the party had killed just a few hours prior.
But didn't dismember.
But
No.
didn't dismember. They did plan on disfiguring him, but some things just fall through the cracks. Regardless, the 6 of them have now met up at the corner of the mayor's mansion, the mayor's manor. The 2 parties meeting up at the same time. I believe it is Eminence, who partook in some less than legal substances and now finds herself exploring an alternate mind state, at which time she turns around and sees 3 enormous lobsters with spider faces running towards her, saying, "Stop! You need to come back here!" as the guards come tearing around the corner, chasing after the 6 of you. What would you like to do?
We're all together now? Is that the...
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
okay.
6 of you are
Cool.
together.
Run through the brawling crowd, probably, to try and lose the guards if we can.
Yeah.
I would also
what
like
about
to
the rest
be
of you?
grabbing
Oh, I'm running.
Eminence, like, you know, even if I could like hop her up on my arm or something, like.
Yeah,
I
you
start
you like
running
lock
Looney Tunes style. She picks me up. My legs are just going.
Fred Flintstone. Pick it up. Okay. What about everyone else?
While I'm like deep in the crowd, I would like to cast disguise self on myself again, but as something completely different.
Okay, and what is that completely different?
Probably like maybe like a really like old, like half orc man. Yeah.
Back in my day.
And I'll be like, oh, we're running now. Okay, I'll run too.
Okay.
But
Eridan
I'm not
and
telling anyone
Oriana?
I'm doing that, so I don't know if that will.
Sure.
I will be running with everybody else. I'm like, I don't have any kind of disguisey anything. I'm just going to be a rather imposing, tall tiefling just fucking bolting.
Yeah. Eridan?
I'm going to cast minor illusion. That is a duplicate of myself, if I can use it that way.
Sure.
That's as So what I want it to do is kind of it can make run directly across the path of the guards and into an alley on the opposite side of the street in the opposite direction that we are going.
Sure. It only has a range of 30 feet, I will say. And minor illusion, I don't think minor illusions can move.
Can they? Oh, that's a good.
Create sounds, muscles roar, and continues. If you create an image of an object, it specifically says image.
Yeah. All right. So I don't do that then. I can't move. Yeah. All right. I'll just try and do a stealth check and kind of. Nah. Fuck it. I'm just gonna bolt. Keep running.
Okay.
The group. I can't find a way out.
So, first things up, Aery, why don't you go and make a stealth check for me? Because there are guards looking directly at you as you begin to mutter and cast a spell.
In the thick of the crowd.
Okay, sure. In that case, why don't you make a stealth check to see if you can lose line of sight in the crowd?
Okay. That was a 5.
Awesome.
And I don't think my stealth is good. No, my stealth is -1. So
hey,
that's a 4.
So you step behind Eridan and you're like, cover me, and then try to cast the spell. Yeah, so the 6 of you quickly dash into the crowd. This is now a chase scene, so I'm going to have to ask the 6 of you to start making some saves versus fails. And if you get a certain number of successes, the 6 of you escape. If you get a certain number of fails, the 6 of you are caught. So ducking into the crowd, I want you to tell me what role you want to use to justify moving through the crowds. Is this athletics? Are you pushing people out of the way? Is it acrobatics? Are you nimbly weaving back and forth? Is it intimidation? Are you able to scare people out of the way? Tell me what you are trying to use to get through this crowd of people that's still brawling after the fight that Natalie started just a moment ago and has now re-entered. Like, you could specifically see that old, like, blacksmith guy with just the apron on turn and look back towards you, and he sets his sight towards you.
Cool, Nate.
For Oriana, I would like to do intimidation.
Okay. You're gonna like businesswoman power walk your way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just get the fuck out of my way. And that's a 23.
23. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many times do we have to do that? Are we taking turns?
That's 1 success for the crowd here. So you say, get out of my way. You start walking forward. You see that big old barkeep guy with the broken bottle looks at Natalie and then sees this tiefling behind. And for a moment, he kind of like falters. And that's enough time for the 6 of you to move past this guy. Who's up next?
Yeah, I'll go. Can I use... I don't know if this flies, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Can I use medicine and see if I can like pick through like the most drunk people that are easy to kind of like, they're not really holding their ground, like, because it's a festival, and like
Sure.
weave through. If not, I can straight up athletics this bitch and like just run through. But
Yeah.
I
So I would
thought
say
that's more fun.
if you want to use medicine, that can give the next person advantage because you can sort of point out like, oh, we go that way. Knowing which direction is the easiest does not make getting through it any easier. You still have to get through.
She'll just strength. She'll just athletics then, and just like hip and shoulder
Power
through. Yeah. Ooh, 16 plus for 20. Dirty 20.
Awesome. So that's 2 successes. The two of you just start pushing your way through the crowd. Oriana and Bryn just muscling through people side by side. You start to clear this pathway through. You get right up close to the edge, and as you do, somebody kind of like stumbles in the front of you and falls over, creating like a blockage. So you can either try to go over this guy, you could go around him by diverting through the crowd. Who's up next?
I'll go. I would like to make an intimidation check. As I'm experiencing a terrible trip, I've pulled out my dagger and I'm kind of waving it at people as I run past, like, don't fucking come near me, don't do it.
Sure. So we did already have an intimidation check from your sister.
yeah.
So if you
Okay.
do want to use intimidation, it's going to be much more difficult.
Ooh,
And you're also tripping balls, so that's pretty tough.
Roll a vibe
just
check.
straight up acrobatics. I just want to get away from people.
Okay, yeah, sure. So this guy kind of falls over in front of the 6 of you just as you're getting towards the edge of the crowd. Go ahead and make your acrobatics check.
That is a 16, 17, 18.
18. So as this guy kind of falls over onto the ground, he stumbles, his drink splashes up onto the side of his face, and the dirt turns this dark brown from the liquid. You see him kind of stumble over and fall, and just like in the nimblest little twist, you kind of spin down, grab him right underneath the shoulder over here, and just rotate him up in like a dance move, and suddenly he's going from like down to like up and spinning. It's like, oh, and then just drifts out of the way of the 6 of you as you open up the way out through the rest of the crowd, and the 3 of you escape out into the thoroughfare. Can I get the 6 of you all to make a collective athletics check now, as the guards are starting to tear out of the front of the manor, chasing after the 6 of you? Hey, stop them!
Nat 20!
Ooh.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics. This is more of an open run.
Oh, well, I got a 16, but I have a -4. So
Oh, no.
Okay,
Wow.
so let's go
Aery
and
is
walk
big.
through.
I made
Bryn,
18.
18.
Yeah.
Awesome. Eminence,
17.
17. Eridan,
6.
6. Womp womp. Aery,
what's 16 -4? 12.
12. Okay. Oriana,
20, because I have nothing to add to that.
nice. Nat 20. And Natalie,
That is a 17.
17. Okay, so the 6 of you make your way out into the thoroughfare. Immediately, you start to see behind you, Eridan is still kind of a little shaken from the explosion a little bit. Maybe he's still a little jittery and is losing some ground. And next to Eridan, you see this old crotchety half-orc that's kind of like hobbling away, but still has the voice of Aery. And immediately, Oriana, you turn around, you just grab Eridan by the shoulder, and you're able to start power running him forward. And Natalie, you go up to the old half-orc, and you're like, you get the sense that this is Aery. You spent enough time around with it. You just pick up the old man under the shoulder and start moving your way with the rest of the 6 of you, and you were able to put some distance between you and the guards as you start making your way further down the street. You get about a block down the street before you start to hear horns and music and trumpets and clapping, and tearing around the corner in front of you is a parade of people. There is a line, probably 4 or 5 people thick, and on the other side of that line, you can see a large parade going through. People are playing instruments. You can see big old men on stilts kind of walking by, colorful clothing. You can see a fire twirler is doing tricks as he walks by. You're probably about an hour away from the sunset, so it's contrasting against the now dimming color of the sky. We're back to another skill check to try and get through this parade. Who's up? How are you guys going to try to navigate your way through this parade?
can I use persuasion to try and like ask people to like let us through?
Okay. As an old half-orc, what do you say to the people?
I'll just be like, oh, coming through, elderly, please make way.
Sure. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Oh my god, my rolls are so bad today. That's a 3. I have +6, but it's still not good.
Yeah, with a 9, I'm afraid that's not enough. You start to walk forward and start patting on people's shoulder. Oh, out of the way, trying to get to the front. Immediately, this guy turns around and is like, "You've already seen all the parades, old man. Let my son see this one."
How rude.
That's one failure. Who's up next?
I guess Bryn, can she try and use deception and say, "Oh, excuse me, we're in the parade. We need to rejoin the troop."
Okay,
I'd like to try and
sure.
get through and say that they're part of the parade and their performance kind of
Yeah, go and make a deception check. This is going to be a little more difficult because this is a little tougher to sell.
I mean, we have 2 fabulously dressed tieflings. Don't they look like they're in a parade?
That is true.
Ooh, 20, dirty 20. 17.
Dirty 20.
Yeah.
The guy kind of turns over and looks at you and is like, "This old man's in the parade?" Of course, I'm so sorry. And he starts to push people out of the way. And even though the people around him didn't hear what was said, the fact that he's starting to push people out of the way opens up a pocket for the 6 of you to push towards the front. Now, just in front of you is the parade itself. Who's up next?
In this parade, do we have any
Yep.
animals?
Absolutely. There is a bear that has sort of like a large jingly collar. And walking behind the bear, you can see like this really big, surprisingly bear-like looking dude with a big mustache in the front. And he's keeping close to it. He seems to be keeping tabs on the bear, but the bear is just walking on its hind legs. And the bells are jingling around the neck.
Don't know that I want to try and do this. I would like to
Fight the bear.
No, I'm not going to fight the bear. I'm going to give a look at the bear. And because I'm guessing we're walking straight through, right? At this
Yes,
point?
you need to get to the other side, yeah.
Okay. Fuck. No, I don't think I can really do...
Yeah, you can hear the shouts of the guards behind you. "Stop them!"
No, there's not really a lot I can do.
Okay.
I'll just attempt to run for it, you know. I'm quite athletic. I realize that we've used athletics here, but I literally have nothing else I can do.
Sure.
Maybe getting a bear to stop. So yeah, I'll just use all of my athletic ability to kind of propel us through, but kind of like from the back, so like I'm kind of like nudging everyone forward.
Awesome. So who is in the front of this squad that you're now trying to push through a parade?
I would hope Eminence.
I am digging my heels in abject terror at the range of horror that is in front of me.
It's like literally herding sheep at this point. Like, I'm just like, keep her in the middle. Like,
I can only imagine what Eminence is like actually seeing through her eyes right now is there's a literal bear 6 feet away from her. Yeah, because Eminence is digging in her heels, it's going to be a little more difficult. Go ahead and make a roll.
Sure. All right. Neat. I'm just rolling it in my hands a little bit, you know, just to really make sure.
Just to warm it up.
Can Bryn help her? Help Shepherd?
Ooh, that's a 19. Which is
19?
+5, so that's 24.
She's a big oil. She's a strong oil.
So in my head, I set the DC as 18. So you rush forward. Eminence kind of digs her heels in, seeing this bear in front of her. And there's just like a deep groove in the dirt as Eminence's heels just get pushed through the crowd. The bear kind of stops and looks directly down at you, Eminence, as the 6 of you are just pushed right past in the head. Turns and follows. And you can see the slavering jaws, the bells kind of ding, ding, ding. As it turns and looks at you. Right about at that moment, the bear handler looks and sees the 6 of you, and his eyes go wide, and he looks at the bear and looks back at the 6 of you.
Can I intimidate
And
the bear?
The bear reaches out a massive paw and just pats you once on the head. And the crowd just loses it. They just start clapping and having a fantastic time. but the 6 of you get pushed over to the other side of the parade now. Now you just need to get over the other side of the crowd. At about this point, you hear the guards. Yeah, at this point, you hear the guards have reached the crowd on the other side of the parade where you just came from, and they're trying to push and shove their way through the crowd of people. Who's up next?
So I'm going to try and do an acrobatics check here. What I'm going to do is sort of push my way through the crowd, but as I'm doing it, do sort of spins and kicks and flips and stuff, and try and shove people to make a bit of a pathway for everyone else as I move my way through.
Okay, yeah. It's like when you're at a school dance and some kid starts breakdancing, because there's always one, and everyone has to like step back for this one guy.
Is it sad I immediately thought breakdancing as well? Like...
Yeah.
So I got a nat 20 and
one.
I got a +4, so 24.
So Eridan makes his way up to the crowd and then just immediately starts like Eddie Gordo from Tekken, just like hoo, ha, hoo, ha, hoo, ha, hoo, ha, and the crowd like starts clapping and making way for you. And they open up some room for the 6 of you to pass through to the other side of the crowd. At about this time, the guards have pushed through on the opposite end as well. You could see the bear kind of look back. As the 6 of you make your way down towards the next street. We're going for another athletics check from the 6 of you to further escape from this pack of guards.
Is it possible, like, before we leave, for Bryn to yell, like, seeing the guards break through, Bryn to yell to everyone in the crowd saying, "The guards are trying to take away everyone's drinks," to, like, get the crowd against the guards? Like, trying to seize them.
So I will say, if you do that, then it's only going to be 5 athletics checks from everyone else, and you still need 3 successes to succeed.
Nope, I'm very athletic, but I am also very charismatic. Yeah, fuck it. She's going to yell at the guards are trying to take everyone's booze away.
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. The guard kind of steps forward. The fire twirler is tossing this baton. He like catches it in one hand, and almost immediately afterwards, you just see a bottle fly across his face and dink the guard's helmet right off his head. And immediately people just start cheering and stop them! You'll never take away our rights! You'll never take away our freedom! And they appear to be significantly slowed down. Let's get athletics checks for everyone else.
15. Which is
15,
not really
okay.
that great for Natalie, but...
I got an 18, but it's still -4, so 14.
Oh,
okay.
I got a 9.
I got a 10.
Uh-oh.
I got a 16.
16, okay. So with that, that's 2 successes and 3 failures for this one. The 6 of you make your way onto the other side of the street, but people are starting to flood in towards the parade now, realizing that there's commotion. So you have to battle your way upstream. And with Bryn in the back of the group, she's not able to power an opening through for the rest of you. And Natalie, you're like a single salmon, just forcing your way through this crowd of people as you try to make your way through. You're able to put some distance between the guards because Bryn was able to buy some time, but by the time you reach the end of the block, the guards have made it through the parade onto the other side, and they are still pursuing you. You have not lost them yet. Up next is in my notebook, which is over here because of course it is. Yes, as you make your way down this side of the street, getting towards the end of the block, coming down from a side street perpendicular to the rest of you is another group of guards, 6 of them with pikes raised up high, just running, and one of them turns over, recognizing the 2 of you, not the old orc man, and says, "That's them! Stop them!" And they start trying to chase towards you. They're about 20 feet away. We're up to another skill challenge. Who's up?
I very much want to just glower at them until they fuck off, but I don't know. Even if I rolled a nat 20, if that would work. I think I've wasted my today's nat 20. Can I instead persuasion or deception or something can be like, no, you are incorrect. This is a mask.
A flesh
You can
mask.
certainly try.
I shouldn't have done that. I should have let somebody else do a thing, but I was like, it's been a while. Okay. That's a dirty 20.
That's a dirty 20.
For deception.
Yes. one of the guards kind of hesitates and looks at the guy in front and says, "It is a festival." So he stops and hesitates, but looks like the guy who's in charge of that group of 6 is still continuing to push forward towards the rest of you. Who else is up?
Can I use perception to see if I can find another way for us to go, like rather than like back or towards these guards? Like, is there any like alleyways we can duck down or buildings that we can run through or anything?
Absolutely, yeah. Perception to like look for a different outlet to escape
Yes,
from.
I'm using a different die. That's an 18. Okay, plus
Ooh.
perception is good. 5.
So the guards are coming down from a street perpendicular to the rest of you. You can see that if you continue right down just a little bit, there is an alley that runs down the side of this main thoroughfare in the middle of Goldford. And it looks to be relatively unhindered. And you point that out to the rest of the group. I will say that just as an act of perception, you see this, you know that it is there. But it's still up to the rest of the group to make it there before the rest of the guards catch up to you.
Okay.
That said, they're getting really close. One of them stopped, but the 5 have now progressed towards you guys very, very quickly. Who else is up?
What if we got around us? Do we have like, is there like loose stalls and things
Apple carts
around
go
us?
up.
Like I'm thinking something like, you know, like almost like Dead by Daylight almost. I've never played the game. I've seen a lot of people do it. They like pull shit down just to get it like in the way.
Yeah,
Like, are there
totally.
things that I can just do like a solid like yank and then like it all falls to the floor?
Sure. So I will say that there is a guy that's putting up banners, and there are sort of like iron gas-powered lamp posts lining down the side of the street, and there are like these large banners that all say Springcrest. That are like colorful in a whole bunch of different colors, and there is some guy that's like on a stepladder, like tying a ribbon around it just to the side of you.
I'm just gonna say a quick sorry before before I do it. I attempt to pull down the ladder. Like if it's joined as well, I'd like to kind of get it to a spot where it's kind of like not fallen directly.
You want to clothesline the guards, basically.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. What kind of check would that be?
Strength, I'd imagine, right? Like to pull it down.
Yeah, I mean, there is a guy on the ladder there, so yeah, sure. Let's go. Yeah, we'll do straight strength. I don't know that this is athletics per se.
Yeah, I don't think it would be. Which does make it 2 points worse. So you know, that kind of sucks. But
could be the difference.
Can Bryn be standing under the ladder in case this man falls off the ladder?
I would like to, yes, definitely point out that at this point I am definitely saying sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 17, so a dirty 20.
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
plus
You get up
strength.
behind the ladder, you mutter sorry loudly. At that moment, Bryn, she starts making her way over to realizing the situation. The ladder topples. The guy, kind of like Wile E. Coyote for a moment, is holding on, and then, as the whole banner just drops and falls down. And you can see there's a moment where the lamp catches it and he just hangs, and then slowly the lamp starts to lean and the banner slides off the top of it and crosses right in front of the guards who are now rushing towards you. And immediately the 5 of them get caught in the face with this massive swaths of colorful fabric, like you just brought down a net in some sort of like Spider-Man game or something. These 5 guards just start clotheslined immediately and go to the ground. And the one guy in the back who was like, I don't think that's them. He's like, I really think that's them, and starts making his way to start helping the rest of them out of the banners. You've bought yourself some time now, and collectively, the 6 of you are able to make your way. Do you want to continue down the main thoroughfare or go down the side alley that Aery spotted just a moment ago?
Ooh, the side alley is empty, but the other one had one person still in it, right?
Yeah, so continuing down the main thoroughfare, there is still one guard who's helping the other 5 out of the way, and behind you, the other pack of guards are starting to make their way through the crowds with a couple extra like tomatoes and rotten fruit in their clothing. But there's the main thoroughfare in front of you and a small side alley just off to it that looks like it may be less populated, but you can't see down the alley, so you don't know what's in it.
I would probably go
Wait
down the
until
alley.
someone else makes a decision.
Yeah.
Brynjael's just gonna follow the most confident person in this
Yeah.
situation.
Barry will point it out, but he's not at the front, so I don't
The
think
guards in the back are shouting, "Stop them! They poisoned the mayor!"
Let's go down the alley. Let's
Alley.
we'll grab High Sister and push down alley. I don't think she should be around this many people.
Is anyone
Sure.
actively dragging me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good.
At some point in time, we
110%.
should like put her in like a piggyback, but for someone who actually has strength, so not me.
I'm vaguely trying to get back to the bear that I had a magical spiritual connection with.
The guards are. You see the guards behind you, and it just looks like a whole platoon of bears with like big billowing hats.
I'm trying
You're just turning around like. Awesome. The six of you quickly turn down towards this side alley. You could see different carts in the back leading to like back entrances for a lot of these different businesses and residences. Crates and barrels are stacked up. You could see some garbage has been left that hasn't been properly disposed of, but the street is mainly clear for running. Sorry, the thoroughfare of the alley is mainly clear for running. So let's get the six of you to make another athletics check to go ahead and put some distance between you and the guards behind you.
This is a very good dice. I like it.
We are rolling hard. I'm not going to say it.
Bryn, what'd you get?
Oh no, 19. But
Okay.
I'm not liking the look on some other people's faces.
Eminence, how'd you do?
18.
18.
Somehow.
Eridan? You cut out a little bit. Say again.
17.
17. Aery?
2.
Oh, brutal. Oriana?
6.
6. Oof. And Natalie?
It's a nat 1.
Oh,
So,
no.
but in my defense, that is still a
Nat
6.
1.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
So collectively, that does not get you ahead of the guards, but it does not get them any closer. That is a 3-3 tie. So the three of the six of you quickly turn and start running down the alley, and immediately it's like three stooges. Natalie steps in a pile of horse and just back straight out, lands flat on her back before immediately scrambling right back up. Aery is still trying to keep up the old orc facade and is like limping slowly along with the rest of you. It is all but a miracle that the six of you are able to make your way down the alley as the guards proceed. As you're making your way down this back alley, you come to pass the backside of a tavern where you can see that there are a handful of horses kept out. And in a moment of clarity that it's one of those things that's going to be a story for the rest of your life. You see there's this drunk guy who's kind of next to the stable where there's a horse currently stored. And there's this guy who's getting onto the horse who's trying to hop into the saddle. And the guy looks at the person saddling the horse and looks at the horse and slowly lifts up his hand. And you see this dumb grin begin to cross his face and backs the back of the horse right as the guy puts the saddle on. The horse rears back up. The one next to it rears up as well. And the two of them back their way into the street in front of you. And we're up to another skill challenge as the horses are now starting to sort of froth off of each other and creating this disturbance in the middle of the alley. What's everyone going to do?
wait, so it's in the middle of the alley. It's past us?
In front of you. So
And-
as you're running, you can see like 10 feet in front of you, these two horses are now starting to freak out and they're like pushing against the mud of the alley and just making a general ruckus. You can try to like push past, you can calm them down,
And
you can slide
bring-
through.
Try and direct the one that doesn't have someone on its back. Like try and turn it so it runs down the alley behind us. Like towards the
yeah.
guard.
Yeah, that's awesome. That would probably be animal handling, but I think that's going to be
That
pretty
is.
difficult because these two horses are like stamping their feet right now.
Can
The saddle.
I was
ahead.
thinking the same thing. So can we try together, or can I just,
Sure.
like help? Because that was
So
yeah.
I will consider this one challenge, but it is pretty difficult because these two horses are sort of stamping at the mud together.
I'm
So
pretty good at animal handling.
I can give one of you advantage, or the both of you can roll.
I think Bryn can do it. My dice are cursed.
Alright. Ooh, good. 21.
21 is very good. The horse is kind of stamping, and as you get close, it reflexively kicks out a back leg towards you, and you know well enough to keep your distance when it gets like that until it finally turns around towards the front of you, and you're able to get a hand on its neck and ever so gently push it to the side of the party. Still stamping, still frothing, before finally it just tears off down the alley. The guy who smacked the first horse on the butt, he is just laughing, his back on the ground, just laughing out loud the entire time. His buddy next to him, who was trying to mount the horse, has like wiping the mud off of his face from falling off. There is still one horse in the alley, stamping around. Who else is up?
I don't think, given that I said that Oriana is like trying to push her sister up the alley, I don't think she's going to have anything to do here except for hopefully restrain Eminence from going to go pet the horsey.
Oh, I am definitely.
I was going to say she's definitely going to try and do that, and I don't want her to.
I was trying to touch the horse, but when the guy started laughing, I like to think that has just set me off, and I also think this is the funniest shit I have ever seen in my life.
Sure.
I'm so amused.
Yeah, so the six of you are still standing there in front of this horse that's continuing to froth and mash its feet into the mud. Down at the end of the alley, you can hear voices, "They went that way!" And almost immediately, the horse pushes past the rest of the guards, slowing them down a little bit. You've got a little more time, but the guards are now starting to make their way down the alley.
Honestly, if nobody else does anything, I'm going to hit the horse. I'm going to try and kill the horse with my mace. Can someone please pick something?
Wait, hang on.
The horse is turning sideways now.
Someone try and strong arm it. Bryn can, but Bryn's already done something and just.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I would try and
about herself,
but I don't.
So
the guards are about halfway down the alley towards you. Go ahead.
The horse is just directly in our path, right?
Yeah, it's like sideways. The alley isn't super wide.
Yeah, so if I were to frighten it even more, it would just turn tail and run, right?
You would think.
Yeah, how wrong could this go? I mean, she's going to do it, right? All right. So I'm going to do performance, and I'm going to attempt to make terrifying wolf noises at it to scare it away even further.
So I'm going to say for that's intimidation. You're specifically trying to scare it, not so much perform for it.
What did I get? I got 15 plus 4. 19. I got 19.
19. So as the six of you are sort of standing there looking at the horse, like, somebody do something, Eridan just lets out this blood-curdling howl that rises up. Even the guy who's laughing stops and looks over as the horse just turns and bolts down the street at full gallop. Mud gets kicked back up in your faces at the speed at which this horse turns and runs. The pathway is now clear, and the six of you run out towards the end of the alley, making your way towards the opposite side. And you have one final crowd of people to get through. On the other side of this alley, you can see this is sort of like the main congregation. The town is built on a north, south, east, west series of crossroads, and this is the central crossroad. If you get on the other side of this, it's all going to be easier. It's all downhill, and judging by the depth of the crowd, it's going to be pretty hard for the guards to pursue you through the rest of this. So, as the six of you make your way towards this crowd of people, there's drinking, there's tables, there's patio furniture, umbrellas have been kind of set up. You can see music. There's another bard who's playing a lute standing on top of a table. Another skill challenge. Who's up?
Hang on. Can I work out who of us I think would have the loudest and most convincing voice?
That depends, players. Who of you has the loudest and most convincing voice?
Bryn might have the loudest. Fairly convincing. She's a pretty convincing. I mean, to be loudest, is that strength based, or the strength of your lungs? Or...
Eridan probably has the pipes. I don't know. Yeah. I think he's got the charisma as well.
Yeah. Sheer loudness, Bryn's pretty good.
I have prestidigitation, but there is not. I do not have an intimidating voice at all.
Well,
I'm not looking for
intimidation.
intimidate-
Thaumaturgy is.
I'm gonna
I'm
pose it
pretty
to the group.
persuasive.
Oh wait, yeah, I think it's thaumaturgy.
I'll pose it to the group. I'm going to kind of look between us all, look ahead at the crowd, and say, "Tell them there's free beer at the parade."
I
As
would
we're,
like to
running.
cast thaumaturgy.
Okay. And suddenly, as you say that, you see the highest member of your group, the highest person you've probably ever seen. Open her mouth. Go ahead.
There's free parade.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
15. What's my persuasion? 20.
Love a free
Dirty
parade.
20.
20. You could see that some of the people around you, this massive shout echoes out. This section of the crossroads kind of goes a little quiet as some people pray. What do you mean pray? I don't know. Let's go. What are they talking about? I'm trying to see. And the crowd starts to gather towards the entrance of the alley to see what you were talking about. Yeah, you totally can.
Yeah,
People in the crowd start like leaning up to like.
Yeah, there's free beer at the parade.
Sure. The crowd has now conglomerated more tightly around you, but if you can get through this more tight bit, it opens up. Who's up next?
Not me. I suck at everything today.
I could only brute force, so unless we're brute forcing it.
There are like tables up on the side. You can see that there are different carts and stands where people are selling different ales and liquors. There are like snacks. You can see people selling sausages called like ogre fingers.
Can Bryn use insight to try and help whoever goes next? Like try and see the path of like least resistance in the people? Like anyone that's like looks like they're not going to move, they're like rock solid, they're not going anywhere, versus people that are kind of moving on, just to help the next person would say like, oh, they're going, like we should like.
You're trying to like read the crowd to find a way through.
Perception, or like insight. I thought just with like someone's notion, like how they're vibing. Can I do a vibe check?
I'll let you do insight or perception.
17.
17? Yeah, you do see a route. Yeah, you do see like a route that looks like you could probably get through. As the 6 of you are standing there, now with the crowd gathering around towards you, the guards running down the alley after you. They're covered in mud. They've got beer bottles that have been thrown at them. They are looking miserable and pissed, and they are now 3/4 of the way down the alley to catch up to the 6 of you. Stop them!
If anyone has any ideas, it looks like that's a good way that we could go.
Straight through. If there's like a table or something to the maybe like the right or left hand side that I can just make it like away from the people, but you know what? Do you get what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. So you're trying to go like over the table, I guess.
No, like battering ram straight into it. Like I'm thinking
out of the way.
You know,
clear path.
Just fucking flip that table. Get that out of here.
No, you plowed this table.
You see Bryn point out like, oh, that would be a good way to go. And Natalie's like, yeah, that's nice. And flips the table completely out of that direction. Go ahead and make a strength check. I guess we can do athletics here. We can do athletics here, I think.
Does she get advantage because I'm pointing out the way? That was
you do not. I'm afraid that going the table route is a very different route. I don't think you calculated for tables in your path.
No, she doesn't know Natalie well enough to calculate for table yet.
Table is wood.
You gotta add in the table modifier.
Oh, no, yeah.
That's directly off the table.
Just yeet the dice.
Just
yeah.
Just
exponential
like that
table. Yeah.
That's not great. It's 12.
12. You run over to the table and squat down nice and deep, lift up, and as you do, you see that it's like actually one of those tables where the bench is connected all the way around, and you lift up this entire thing. On both sides of the table, you can see this like small couple of 2 halflings drinking, and they just whoa as the whole table lifts up. And people are impressed by your feat of strength. But then the gnomes are like, "Hey, could you put us down?"
Sorry.
And the table drops back down to the ground. The guards are closing in on you guys. One final check before they get up to you.
I still point to this way. This might be a good way to go.
I could try and persuade people again to move out of our way, but
We already had a persuasion check on this specific skill challenge.
oh, was it?
Yes, that was the thaumaturgy attempt.
Oh, right, yeah, that was.
Free
Yeah.
parade!
Free parade!
I have an idea, but it's
Okay.
iffy. I'll describe it. All right. So, how about there's a ton of people in this bar, right?
Yeah, so it's sort of like an outdoor, like, an Oktoberfest patio.
Yeah. Perfect. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm gonna cast minor illusion and make as many steins of full beer as it will allow me to create with the illusion.
Okay.
And yell at the top of my lungs, "Free beer for everyone!" And this stack of beers will be, I can directly where the guards are gonna come into the room. So everyone just
Sure,
charges
yeah,
in, right?
like right behind you, I guess, as the guards are trying to come through the alley. Let's see. If you create an image no larger than a 5-foot cube, cannot create sound, light, smell, or other sensory effect.
A 5-foot tower of beer.
That's massive. Yeah.
That's a lot of beer.
So I will let you make a deception check with advantage because you're using a spell here to make this check. The guards are probably about 30 feet away from you now. Just full sprint. We're almost there.
Sweet. So that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Do you have a cape? Does Eridan wear a cape?
He has a cloak.
Okay.
Like a
So
hood.
I imagine with a flourish, Eridan holds out his cloak like a magician and then drops it back, and there's a tower of beer and just says, "Free beer for everyone." And immediately people, yeah, and start rushing forward past the six of you towards this 5-foot tower stack of beer steins. And the six of you are just jostled by the crowd of people. Let's go ahead and get athletics checks from everyone to get through the crowd here.
I'm only allowed one by one in a session.
Of course, there's a rule about that.
Yes.
I didn't fail this one.
Ooh.
Okay, Bryn, what'd you get?
19.
19. Eminence.
That's a 15.
15. Eridan.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
14.
14. Okay. Aery.
7.
7. Oriana.
19.
19. And Natalie.
21.
Ooh,
Oh, oh boy. That is 4 successes and 2 failures. The 6 of you suddenly now find yourself constantly being jostled by the crowd. The guards get 10 feet away from you before this tide of people crashes into them. And for a moment, it almost looks like the guards and the people are chasing towards the Tower of Beer until they crash into each other and the guards start trying to make their way after the rest of you. But collectively, the 6 of you are able to push your way through the crowd of this massive crossroads, bobbing and weaving between tables, moving from pack of people to pack of people, ducking behind the sausage stand for a few moments while one of the guards passes by. And the 6 of you find yourselves now on the opposite side of this massive crossroads, out of line of sight of any of the guards, and free to watch the city at your own leisure.
Eminence just slowly rises, and you see that she has a sausage in her hand, and she takes a bite. And what
I imagine you're probably also sobering up. The adrenaline probably tapered things off for you a little bit, so the sausage is a good downer.
Yeah.
The
Well-
6 of you, what would you like to do? Go ahead.
Didn't exactly go as expected. Where to now?
Well, we can't
I-
go back to our hotel, I think.
I don't think there's
No.
anything else we can do. If we stay here, they know what we look like.
True.
Yes,
They did-
perhaps we should just leave the whole town.
Well, yes,
Tried our hardest.
we did. Did anyone else hear that the guard said that we poisoned the mayor?
But we didn't.
We didn't. And we spoke to the mayor, and the mayor has the cure.
So do we?
Oh dear.
I agree with was it Aery that suggested that we either leave the town or the other option is we go all in and kidnap the mayor and try and blackmail him somehow. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I
anybody
suggest
suggests
leave.
kidnapping the mayor. I'm
no.
telling you.
I meant the
Female
running part. The
kidnapping.
running part. Someone else suggested.
Do we know for sure where this cure is?
It said in the Tower of the Alchemist is where it is. But I mean, we don't know if it's the guards that are behind this, or in on this, or the mayor is in on this.
It's probably a
Okay.
good idea to share what happened while we were in with the mayor.
Oh yes,
Oh,
that's
yes.
probably a wise idea.
Well, actually, everything seemed fine. We told him that the fireworks had been tampered with, and we gave the cure, and everything seemed fine. And then all of a sudden, all of these guards were chasing us, and we don't know why. We did what we thought was the right thing.
Did
I
you
don't know what to do.
run into that Rilio, that his father?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yes.
a dick.
Yes, he was standing outside the window. He definitely
Very-
does not like us.
Do we feel like
They locked us in as well temporarily. I don't actually think that had much to do with the mayor. I think it's him. Maybe the mayor is like a puppet mayor. Maybe he doesn't really have any power.
I think it was a different guard that locked us in. It wasn't.
It was
Rilio's
a
father.
pin.
Or-
Pin locked us in there, I believe. I think it was Pin. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was Pin
yeah,
Bellner,
Bellner.
who he was the platoon leader, who was helping to guard the mayor's manor. And then outside your window was the captain of the guard, Quadrum Redrook.
It does seem very suspicious that it would have captain of the guards themselves involved in playing watchman outside our window.
True. Maybe he was involved all along.
Maybe he knows
was-
son is dead. That is probably not a good thing.
I don't know how he would know that already, but it's possible.
Well, if he was in on it, maybe they had someone check the warehouse and like, oh no, we just left a dead body right in the middle of the room. We didn't really hide it at all.
Well, I still think that we should leave.
I don't know
I
who else
agree.
to really tell. I mean, if the mayor isn't in on it, they know about the cure, and I mean, we know that the cure will be distributed. It's just a shame that these poor folk will have to pay for something that they were poisoned by.
What time is it? If this is supposed to happen at what time are they?
It's probably about
the fire-
45 minutes to sunset.
Yeah, let's. I feel like we can get out of this town in 45 minutes and not get ourselves poisoned.
As the six of you are, I imagine you're in like a side nook just off of a street, taking a moment to catch your breath, having this conversation. You hear laughter coming around the corner, and then a loud pop and a loud bang. That sounds like fireworks going off, and there's laughing, and people start cheering, and you can see sort of the bright red and blue lights shine off of the buildings on the opposite side of the street from you.
Oh no.
Don't like that.
And
I'd
about
like to
10
keep
seconds
hugging.
later, you hear coughing.
I'm tugging on Oriana's sleeve. Just I want to go home. I take a bite
The
of sausage.
coughing begins to worsen from around the corner, and you begin to start hearing multiple people cough, and retch as well.
Can we go home?
I'm gonna
We
wrap something
can-
around my face.
We can go if everybody else is okay with us going. Does anybody object to us leaving before we are the coughing people?
Wait, just quickly. Bryn, you said that the herbalist could help us.
Yes.
Where
well,
is-
she
where
didn't.
are they?
Where would the herbalist building? Would Bryn
So
know?
she was out towards the edge of town,
Yeah.
not by the nearby forest. So you are on the correct side of town. If you make your way out of town, you will pass by her shop.
I
We
mean,
should-
we certainly we can go. She did not have any null root in stock, though. She doesn't have anything that can cure this right now. But I mean, she can spread the word of what it is. But that coughing, that's very heavily onset. I don't know how many people are going to survive through this.
I think at least we have to try at least with one person, and then maybe, do we know where this tower is in respect to us?
The tower. The tower's probably on the north side of town. So in my head, I see you guys on the east side of town,
Right.
just past like sort of the central crossroads. The mayor's manor was over on the western side, raised up a little bit on a hill. The herbalist is all the way on the far east side of town,
Yep.
so you can head all the way up to the herbalist and Bale. The mage tower was just a little bit north of center. So if you go to the herbalist and then decide to go to the tower, you would have to backtrack into town.
I don't know how much we can do.
At this point,
as-
you hear yelling and screaming. People are shouting for help as the retching seems to get worse.
Whatever we're doing, we need to move now.
Yes,
We're
we need
either
to-
helping these people or we're not.
I'm starting to back away.
I
I
don't think
am
we can
going
help
to
them.
tie something around Eminence's face, like copying whoever had. You know how in airplanes they're like,
you
take care of
bandana?
yourself first? Yeah, nah, I'm bandanaing Eminence. Like,
Okay,
"My
yeah.
baby."
Okay. At this stage, I'm pretty compliant. I'm just sort of, I'm coming down, and I'm not doing much at all.
Yeah.
I just look very confused and very sad, and I finished my sausage, and that makes me sadder.
Can we go to this tower and do something? Can we just open it? Can we send word to what can we do? We can't just leave
I
these
don't
people
think
to
there's
just
anything
die.
left. We did the only thing we thought that we could do. And if we stay in this town, we are going to be the ones who are poisoned. And all of the guards are already looking for us. And they're blaming us for this, even though we tried to prevent it. There's nothing, as far as I can tell, that we can do. We did our best. But
If we
I do
stay
not
here
want
and
to
we're
poison.
arrested, what's going to happen?
I
How is that
don't-
going to help?
If
I-
we move our way to the herbalist, and from there we can tell people on the way through not to light fireworks, and she can try and maybe get the word out. The herbalist is much more reputable than if she knows to look for the symptoms and knows that this is Squire's Bane. Then perhaps they can rally against it being sold. Perhaps they can force it to be distributed without an additional cost.
At
But if
this point,
government knows.
stepping around the corner, clutching onto the side of the building, a human man walks into view, and he's coughing and retching and wheezing. And immediately, without even needing a medicine check, you can see that this is a significantly worse display of symptoms than just Squire's Bane. His skin is bright red and his neck looks completely strained as he tries to wheeze. You can see that his eyes are bloodshot from what looks like oxygen deprivation as he kind of staggers forward and tries to breathe and slumps down to the ground.
Okay, I'm going right now. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm not sure if what I'm seeing is real yet, but I'm freaking out a little, and I'm following Aery.
Bryn will like run up to the collapsing man and see if she can like do anything to help stabilize him, or like at least determine at a closer inspection what the symptoms are.
Sure. Make a medicine check.
She's good at these. Ooh, 18, 23.
23. That's very good. Immediately, you're able to tell that this is worse than Squire's Bane. This is far worse than somebody just eating the berries, getting a cramp, and then having the shits for a day or two. This, with a 23, you see that there are almost like lightning-shaped. I don't want to say like veins, but just lightning-shaped scars, as if the blood around the edges of his eyes have been almost zapped by something. You get the sense that there is some weird interaction between biological and arcane with what has happened. You can tell that the reason that he's wheezing is because he's inhaled some of this powder that you can now see has sort of settled onto the street further down from the rest of you. And that's what's causing his skin to change colors as well. But there's some interaction between medicine and magic that's going on here that is significantly worsening the symptoms.
Can she do anything to try and stabilize him?
With the 23, you get the sense that unless you find a way to purge his system completely of this powder, he's going to die within the next minute or two.
You fucking hell.
Have anything for the amount of people that are coughing?
Now looking down the street, you can see probably 7 or 8 people are on the ground, all similarly writhing, and more people are starting to rush down this alley as they're starting to try and see what's the cause of the yelling and the screaming. And as they're coming into the alley, their footsteps are kicking up this red dust.
Shit. So she's going to. So he's out. He's away from the main crowd. That's
he's pulled his way out.
She is going to pull out her lute, her instrument of the bards, and use one of the charges. I think this particular one had cure poison.
Okay, yeah.
On it. Where are we? Because it was DOS lute, and yes, I think there's still. Wait, I don't have it. It's not as a spell, so let me just. It's protection from poison, but I think that cures it if you've already been exposed to it.
Yeah, so protection basically means that you are unable to be harmed by it anymore.
Okay. So she's going to do that on him to stabilize him.
Okay. So you cast protect. Sorry, my tablet is chugging along so hard right now. You cast protection from poison on this guy, and you see he immediately starts to take in these gasping breaths. How long does protection from poison last?
I think it's an hour.
Okay.
So
wait, you know,
yeah, 1 hour.
Specifically with protection from poison, that means that he is no longer able to be harmed by it. However, it's still in his system. You need to find a way to get it out of him, some sort of cure or dispel or something to forcibly purge.
You neutralize the poison.
Oh, is it neutralize?
So it's neutralized. Yeah. If it is poisoned, you neutralize the poison.
While she's doing this as well, can I grab? I'm gonna. This seems really abstract, but I've been thinking about it. The cup from my mess kit and like put some of the dust with the dirt in it, like covering my mouth, and like cover it and tie it up, like a little bit of like a sample of it.
Sure. So you try to like cover your mouth and go into the street and get some of the dust in your cup?
Like not as like nowhere, trying to attempt to be nowhere near it.
Gotcha. You're straight up like hazmat suit, like reaching like, your arm out.
Like
Yeah. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
To see if you can get close enough and delicately enough.
I'm not on the right page. Hang on. Sleight of hand is 2, so that gives me a solid 7.
7. You start creeping forward, trying to get some of this powder, and Brain, you immediately see this. You see Natalie is starting to get close to the powder to try and receive a sample. Do you allow her to continue seeing the symptoms?
No.
Yeah. As you start going forward, you don't even notice that as you're like slowly stepping, your feet is kicking up some of the dust. immediately Bryn just grabs you from behind and pulls you back. So you were not able to successfully retrieve a sample, I think, with a 7.
Yeah.
So neutralizing the poison, yeah. So using protection from poison, that works. He starts gasping for breath. Tears start running down his face. You can still see that whatever arcane phenomenon has happened is still continuing to wreak havoc, but it's starting to taper off, like passing the storm's eye, basically. He's still hurting, he's still in pain, but it is fading. I will say that to investigate the arcane phenomenon, you will probably need someone who is more versed in specifically arcane arcana.
Yeah, no, she's just gonna say to the man, when he's like regained his breath.
Yeah.
You have to, it's the fireworks. You have to stay away from the fireworks.
His eyes are wide, he kind of blinks open the tears and looks at you and, what? And looks down the street towards now the 7 or 8 people, which has turned to 10 or 12 as more and more people of the crowd has conglomerated in the area. And go ahead.
You need to not let people fire the fireworks. We've tried. This is something, all of the fireworks. We don't know how many of them there are, but this will happen to everyone. And we don't have enough to save everyone.
Okay. And he starts to like panic scrabble away from that fireworks blast, and pulls himself up to his feet and sort of starts to stagger off and fireworks, don't set it off.
There is a cure, but they're going to try and charge you for it.
He's not listening at this point.
Okay.
He almost died and was brought back from the brink. He's
and
near
he's not
delirious.
listening to the person who saved him. God damn it, drunk people.
He's like panic getting away from the firework epicenter. Speaking of which, at about this point, I think it was Aery and Eminence. The two of you were buggering off down the street. You're probably about 100 feet away at this point, where you finally turn back at the rest of the party and see that somehow Bryn has cured the guy who staggered out past the corner. Is there a specific place the two of you are heading?
If I can tell how to get out of the city, I would be going that direction.
Yeah, you could just follow the street straight.
Would you say whatever I smoked before, does that have like a long come down? Am I pretty with it at this point? What's going on?
I would say that you're fairly sobered up at this point. Yeah. It's more of like it's more of like the day after of going to a rave or something. You just feel like a little drained. You just feel a little flat at this point, but you have a good grasp on your faculties, on reality at this point.
Okay, once we're a pretty safe distance away and we've stopped to watch Bryn for a moment, I just want to turn to Aery and how much of that just happened?
Well, it's hard to tell how much you saw versus what I saw, but I'm just going to say all of it.
There was a bear?
There was a bear.
Oh, there was a bear.
I think you'd like it. Anyway, you and we are too beautiful to die here, so we need to keep moving.
Agreed.
Says the hunched over half-orc man.
Oh yeah, she's talking. No, I probably would have dropped that once we lost the guards.
Okay.
And if
sounds
I have
fair,
it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll call out for Oriana.
Yeah. Oriana and Eridan, you see Natalie and Bryn try to get a little closer to the explosion, at least to help that one guy and try to gather a sample. You also see Eminence and Aery make their way down the street. What did the two of you do?
I'm going after Eminence. I was considering helping, but if she's like 100 feet that way, nah. Fuck this town.
Yep. Eridan?
I go and join Bryn and Natalie and see if there's anything I can do to help.
God, we split the party again. Fuck.
You could.
You can die if you wanna. I got no
Yeah.
part in that.
So, Eridan, you head over towards Bryn and Natalie, who are watching this guy stagger off down the street, barely has his faculties together after nearly dying. And looking past them back towards the epicenter of that fireworks, you can see that it's not looking good. More and more people are getting closer and closer, and with every dozen seconds that pass, a new person starts coughing. It's not looking great.
To address the two of them and just say, we need to get out of this town, but we should see that herbalist first.
I agree. Eridan, do you happen to have anything that fights against poison?
I have not much, to be honest. I'm an entertainer. I'm not a medic or a doctor. I can cure wounds, but like nothing for poison. I'm sorry.
Fortunately, I mean, it helped, but we need to get this out of people's system. The herbalist, I agree, we should go and speak to. However, this is magical as well as poison.
The
I know,
scale
but-
of it, there's too much. We can't.
We need to.
Unless
We can't stay here. We need to keep moving,
No,
whatever
we
we're
can't.
doing.
We need to
So I
go,
guess I'll
but at
continue the
least-
conversation,
yeah.
but like start moving away.
Yeah, you
Like
walk
as
and
they're
talk.
talking, we're like, yeah, moving away.
Okay. I'll say for the sake of brevity, the six of you are able to rejoin groups. I think probably Aery and Eminence, the two of you make it down another block before looking back and see the rest of the group catching up. So the six of you gather back up together.
I now have no hesitations about knowing that Bryn can catch up to Aery, irrespective of how far ahead Aery is.
He's not athletic. We're both in heels.
Exactly.
Oh well, Aries not
Oh.
got, like big heels, but
Oh, he absolutely makes up for it in Fabulous, but not fast. Fabulous, not fast.
Awesome. And so the six of you make your way to the herbalist?
If the rest of that's definitely where I guess Natalie, Eridan, and Bryn. If it's in the same direction, I think they could try and convince the group. Look,
Yeah.
it's on the way out already. It's on the east side.
It's-
There's an exit.
It's like a single street over from the main thoroughfare. You wouldn't have to go very far out of your way to get there.
okay. But if it gets too close to the time, we are leaving. I am not waiting for you. Just say.
But I
I
don't
agree.
think they're going to be letting fireworks off this far out. I think it's more in the center of town. But
I'm pretty
absolutely, I
sure
agree.
We celebrate all over the city, and I'm not going to risk it. Just very quick chat, tell her what's going, and we go.
At that point, in the distance, back towards the center of town, you hear the sound of fireworks going off.
If we have 45
just a
minutes
one-off.
until the main fireworks start going off, you have 20.
You have 10.
Well, then
Let's
let's
go.
get moving.
Okay. The six of you quickly push your way
Wow.
down the thoroughfare.
Right.
It's people are drinking and celebrating, and it is this terrible dichotomy of people laughing and drinking and having a good time and brandishing their fireworks, talking about how excited they are to see what they get. Is it a dragon? Is it a tower? Is it a cloud? Is it going to be a star?
Yeah. Can I, as we're going through, just like try and tell
Yeah, like,
people that,
Any
like,
uninebriated people we see.
yeah, not like
Yeah.
stopping to like talk to people, but just like trying to like call out to everyone and tell them like that they're like it's a trap or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Please don't be cursed this time. I'm gonna make my keyboard out.
Can Bryn help out by just reaffirming everything she says, like two town criers where
Sure. yeah.
Aery is like
Seven.
yelling?
7, but I have +6, so
Sure. So I'll give you advantage because Bryn is backing you up.
I'm your hype guy.
that's a 19 +6.
Nice.
Yeah.
25. So you're going through and you're just telling people don't set off the fireworks. They've been tampered with. They've been poisoned. Some people are still skeptical because doomsayers on a celebration day. They're just unhappy with the current political party that's in power. And then other folks are like,
kill your Andrew, kill your friends.
other people are like, maybe we just wait and see. We can always set them off later in the night. And you do get the sense,
Yeah.
you do get the sense that you have convinced some people not to set off their fireworks.
Yeah. Can they like be yelling as well, like be suspicious if like a new cure is being offered and being paid for or anything along that tangent? Like
We're just like crazy people like running through the streets. Of,
yeah, like they will, but the alchemist will try and like sell, or at least like that doesn't have to be like yelling to anyone. But if Bryn sees like specifically anyone that seems to have their shit together and isn't like blackout drunk and seems coherent, to be able to like say that, like let your like neighbors, let your friends and family know this is what's happening. Like if you see people start like coughing in the street and having freaking lightning bolt scars appear around their eyes, it's not Harry Potter shit, it's poison. Like
yeah, you spread the word. It probably takes you about, as you're making your way through the crowd of people, I would say 15-ish minutes before you make it to the edge of town where the herbalist's shop is. It's much less densely packed over here. It seems to be sort of like you've hit the suburbs. The party is a lot more chill. Off in the distance, every now and again, you can still hear as fireworks start to go off just a little bit early. The sun is dipping lower and lower into the sky as the sky itself is starting to turn orange and red towards the edge. But you've made your way towards the edge of town. The herbalist's shop is just a block away.
look,
Are you guys
the
going to
rest
head
can
in?
keep going if you want. We can catch up to you if you're wanting to make extra headway.
How close are we to being out of the city?
Probably, I would say 4 or 5 minute walk. No more than 500 meters.
Yeah. I would want to go. We'll wait for you outside, but please hurry.
What's out there to
It's
the island of the
immediately
cars?
outside of the herbalist shop. Can we see anyone with fireworks?
That's a good question. I'll say yes. You do see a small boy and a girl, like 12 or 13. The two of them are running around playing tag. And the one in front, the girl who's currently being caught, she's running around with like a small sparkler. And you can see it's got the arcane runes on the side of it.
I would like to grab her by the shoulder as she runs past, bend down
Sure.
and say, your firework is poisoned, and if you set it off in front of me and it doesn't kill you, I'll kill you myself.
Her eyes go super wide and she just immediately and starts letting out this terrible crying. The boy catches up at this point and grabs the girl and starts to pull her away. But she does not let go of the fireworks. She continues to hold on to it.
Can I snatch it from her?
Sure. Make a sleight of hand check.
I'm not decent at that. Oh, okay. 19 with a +2, 21.
She got a 15. You snatch it out of her hands, and her crying just gets even worse. As that happens, Bryn, the herbalist, steps out. What's going on out here? Oh, what's going on? As she looks at the 4 of you, 5 of you? Did anyone else go with Aery?
I will also be going with Aery, but I would have stayed around for Eminence to torment a child first. So
You're 60 feet away watching.
Poison, bad things, bye!
Well,
Okay.
there has been some developments, shall we say?
You're the one who helped me with the boy yesterday. Are you with this one over here? And she points over to Eminence.
Coincidentally, yes, I am. May we
What's
have a word
going
quickly?
on?
Ah.
Yes.
Well, so you know that we had that little boy, a young boy, that was suffering from Squire's Bane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out that that and some fun little additions that we don't know what they are in the fireworks.
I'll storm forward and I don't think I'd hand her the firework. I'll hand it to Bryn. I'll give it to
Sure.
Brynjael in case she needs it for proof.
She kind of flinches back at the tall tiefling, just almost reflexively, and then sees the fireworks and sorry, in the what?
So, the poisoning that we saw with that young man yesterday,
Yes.
it is much, much worse when you inhale it, and then there's an addition of something that we do not know what it is in there with it.
Okay.
And these have been
Oh.
distributed en masse to the populace.
Her eyes kind of settle on the fireworks in your hand, and she holds out a hand to take it.
Bren will give it to her.
Yeah, she kind of inspects it a little bit, and you're telling me this is poisoned.
Yes. And it's not just when it goes off. The dust it leaves behind is just as deadly.
She kind of like staggers back a little bit and puts a hand on the door to steady herself. So, what, why are you...
Worse. There's people in town already being poisoned, like more than we can count. I don't know if you have any way of gathering herbs or getting supplies quickly, but you're going to need them very, very fast. There will be casualties. All we can hope to do at the moment is minimize what's already happened.
We tried to go to the mayor with this information and the guards, but they tried to pin it on us that we were the ones behind it. So we're leaving, but we
were
wanted
you?
to let... Of course
I mean,
not! I'm a healer! I'm a paladin! Why would I have saved
I-
that little boy?
I don't know. This is just a lot.
We need to leave.
I need a drink. And she turns to walk into the shop and says, "You can have one as well if you like. This is a lot."
Bryn will follow her, but stay in like the mouth of the door. She's not going to fully go into the house.
Sure. You can see that she goes in the same shop, just lined with shelves of a whole bunch of different concoctions. She goes behind the counter and pulls out like her own jar of kombucha. It looks like,
Hell
and just
yeah.
unscrews the top and puts it down. Okay. Fireworks poison. Whole town's going to be poisoned.
We know that there's going to be a cure that's distributed by Kodas Chin, apparently. But from looking at one firework that was let off, I don't know how many people are going to be left to buy the cure.
How bad?
Pretty bad.
She goes back for the kombucha and puts it down. Okay. So, what do we do? What are you doing? Surely you've got a plan, right? If you know all this, you came here to tell me what to do because you know what to do, right?
Look, a herbalist that has been running in this town would carry a lot more weight with what they would say than 6 strangers that they're trying to pin this on. I do not have the magic to cure that many people of poison, and I know that you said that you didn't.
You're leaving.
They tried to throw us in jail. What can we do?
You're leaving these people to die. Okay.
We saved who we could. We can't save everyone. I just do not have it in me. I do not have the skills. I do not have the resources. You're saying that you don't have null root available. This is of an arcane nature on top of that.
It's been gone. I've been looking for it and I haven't been able to find it. I've been looking all morning.
We did see some previously collected in in the barrels below the. Bryn, do you remember the house we were in before?
There
It
was
had
no
big
cure. There
barrels.
was only barrels of Squire's Bane. I tried to see if there was another.
That son of a bitch. Cord-ass chin. Okay. I mean, maybe we could get the null root from him. If he's planning on selling it, that means he's got a stockpile, right? If we could start distributing it early, then we might be able to combat the symptoms before it gets too bad.
I mean,
right?
Yes, that would definitely be the way to go, but we can't do that. We were apprehended almost several times when we were trying to help the people in the streets. They want our heads. They want to blame someone for this. And
so you're gonna leave?
What good are we going to be in jail? We tried to tell people.
If you can get the null root to the people, it doesn't matter if you're in jail. I will testify on your behalf. I've been a part of this town for decades. At the very least, I can guarantee a fair trial.
The other thing we might be able to do if we've left, as harsh as it is perhaps the next town we come across, tell them to send spellcasters and healers and null roots here as fast as they can. We can get word out of what's happened and try and get you support.
Fine. Thank you. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Sure. She kind of steps forward and, if you'll excuse me, I need to go have some words with Mr. Chin.
I suggest that would not be your best immediate course of action.
What's he going to do? Kill me?
What?
Would he honestly take lives for this? I have to try.
He already has. Look in the street. If you go straight to him, you'll be in the same state that we are. He will go straight for you. Is there anyone in this town with any kind of power that you know personally that you could trust, that would be on your side first? If you must go to Chin, go to them first. Get support. Get any guards that you can find that are trustworthy.
Lay the people with you. They can't stand against a wave of people that want to protect their loved ones.
Yes, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes, he might kill you. They tried to kill us. And, I mean, we're strangers. It's easy to kill us, but what's to say that he wants to take out the competition?
Yeah. Okay. All right. And she goes into the back of the shop and pulls out sort of like a dusty old staff. And you can see the end of it has these gnarled fingers that grasp up, and she bangs it against the ground. And some of the dust sparkles off and catches in the crimson light now coming in through the open window. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry for getting mad at you, but I have got to do something. So.
Sorry, we couldn't do more.
Good luck.
And well.
She makes her way out the door and starts walking down the street.
Natalie will just reach out and pop a hand on Bryn's shoulder and just, we did all that we can. We need to leave.
We didn't, but we do need to leave.
If I walk out the front door, can I see whether she has any horses tied up? Does she own horses?
I am afraid not. She does not own any horses.
Does anyone on the street?
Let's go and roll for that. as a matter of fact, yes. Down towards the end of the block, near the edge of town, sort of by the gate, there is in fact a stable specifically designed to lease horses out for travelers who are leaving Goldford.
Right. I'll approach that stable, and could I investigate whether it seems like whoever owns that stable is there, or are they at the party?
This is like the bar at the. This is kind of like the bar at the edge of town. The owner is still there. He's drinking with like 2 or 3 of his mates, and they're playing cards as they're talking about the upcoming celebration of lights, effectively, for the fireworks. He has not left his post.
All right. Basically, if it seems like I have a chance of grabbing a few horses and untying them and just walking them away quietly without being noticed, I would like to try to do that. But if
Okay.
this is like right under his nose, I don't have time to start a fight, and I don't want to bother.
Yeah, he is watching the horses. He is keeping an eye on the horses.
Okay. I'm just going to turn around and leg it in the other direction. I'm getting out of town.
Yeah, okay. You do see a sign saying horses for rent. 5 gold per day, 20 gold deposit.
I'm never getting that deposit back. No, not going to bother with the horses. Just want to get out of town.
Sure. And the rest of you?
Making a run for it.
Where are the eminences? Oh, and a disapproving face.
So finally, the 6 of you meet up just at the outskirts of town, just past the large city gate. You can see 2 lazy guards are kind of sitting there looking at each other like, why do we always get festival duty? As you make your way out onto the well-worn path that sort of leads into the woods past the edge of town, the sun begins to dip below the horizon as the clouds behind you are lit up in a brilliant crimson hue, and off in the distance you can hear as the fireworks begin going off more and more consistently. And that's where we'll go ahead and take a break as the 6 of you head out of town to escape
It's been nearly 2 hours now. What the
a
fuck?
disaster.
I know, right?
What? Okay. Yeah, sure. Hang on. I've got to change it.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Wisdom Saves. As our party has just made their way outside of town, the sun is beginning to set on the horizon behind them. In front, the woods beckon, dark and inviting, the crooked trees' fingers rising up towards the crimson clouds above them. And still, they walk further and further along this dirt path, away from the town of Goldford, away from the distant of fireworks going off prematurely, until eventually the sun dips fully behind the horizon. The clouds begin to go darker and darker in color, and the sound of popping in the distance fades into the gentle quiet of the forest around them. As the six of you are setting up camp, finding a nice clearing just off of the main road, you can see that there's plenty of kindling and wood nearby. Is there anything that you would like to do before we take a long rest for the next day?
Natalie is angrily, like, she's got her hand axe out, she's got some wood together, and she's, like, chopping it up into, like, smaller, like, pieces, ready for, like, to put on a fire. But she's kind of doing it in that, like, passive-aggressive, like, putting the dishes down too hard kind of way.
Are you, like, continually chopping? Like, you get, like, a reasonable size, and then you're, like, still chopping, like, really small?
So you put, like, a couple of pieces on the fire, and then she just finds this one piece. And for some reason, this one piece just gets all of it. And it's, like, chopped up into, like, smaller pieces. And she does it sideways. It's like, there's not a functional piece of wood anymore. It's just she wants to chop something.
Bryn is just...
At least I can find something I can be good at, I guess. Just setting up a fire.
You're very strong. I would say you're good at a lot of things.
And she'll just, like, lodge her axe in the thing. And I'm like, apparently there are some things that I'm not quite so good at. And that seems to be saving a city full of helpless fucking people.
It wasn't your failure, Natalie. It was all of ours. But more than that, it was the failure of the governing bodies in the city. They could have stopped this. They knew about it. We were set up. We did everything that we could. This was not our failure alone.
I don't think we failed at anything. We couldn't save the entire town.
But it would have been nice if we could have. And we did try.
What is the point in training to be strong if I can't be strong enough to help a bunch of helpless people? Bryn, you understand what I'm saying? You heard what the herbalist said to us.
Bryn is kind of like 1,000-yard staring at this point. Yes. It was definitely not how I wanted to leave the city.
The rest of you, have you never... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, she just trails off. She kind of...
The rest of you, have you never been in a situation where you haven't felt that you've been strong enough to help it?
I never feel strong enough to do anything. But usually I can convince other people to do what is right, and I failed at that too.
I'd like to just exchange an awkward look with Oriana. I mean, yes.
Look, we found ourselves in a forest just outside of town. We are currently, I guess, I actually can't genuinely think of the word. What's the word when you're wanted? We just completely skipped mine. We found ourselves possibly wanted for arrest, and I know nothing about any of you.
True.
But I would like to know. I would like to know the people that I am surrounding myself with, because as much as today was horrible, you all did try to help. And I would like to get to know you a little better.
I would like to know you too, Natalie.
Well, let's start with you then. I don't know. How do you introduce yourself? What were you here for? Where did you come from?
Well, you know, I've been all over the place. I came here to find just maybe a new life, some adventure. I didn't expect it to be this much adventure. I just thought, you know, maybe I would be able to be helpful to people, do something cool. But instead, you know, I just got chased around a lot. And now I think I can never come back to this town. I didn't like it that much anyway, so it's not such a bad thing. It's just like a very bad start, you know? To start a new life and then immediately become some sort of criminal, that's not what I'm into at all.
I'm
know?
glad.
We're not really criminals.
Well, they seem to think we are.
If we never
They
come
might
back, then
all
we
be dead. So
I have a suspicion that the people who caused this would know to protect themselves.
If we never come back here and it's not the mayor or his partner, look on the bright side, they'll certainly know we weren't lying if we ever come back.
But they can still tell people that we were the ones who were behind it. And that's not good.
I do feel like we've definitely been played for the villains here. But it's good to know that you at least didn't start out. You wanted to help people. And that's the important thing, I guess.
Well, maybe it's a little naive, but I actually wanted to become an adventurer. I've read so many stories about them, and it seems so much fun. But I'm not so sure anymore. It seems like I'm perhaps not very good at doing the adventuring, like running and hiding, and, you know, like any of that at all. So I don't know how I feel about it anymore.
this certainly isn't what I expected it to be either.
You wanted to be an adventurer too?
Well, yes. I just want to do something. I'm so tired of doing nothing. And I just, it doesn't matter what, I just want to feel like I matter.
Oh, I know exactly how you feel.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Pardon me, this is quite a foreign phrase, but I believe it's a mood.
Oh yes, it's very much a mood.
mood.
What about you, Natalie? You wanted to be strong to help people?
I have found myself in numerous situations where everyone said I'm very strong and everyone said I'm very capable, and yet
You are.
apparently when it comes to helping people who aren't myself, I apparently could use a little bit more help.
Well, we all do our best, I guess.
Well, clearly my best isn't good enough. You're Oriana, is that right?
Yes.
You two are
followed your
sisters?
sisters? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very shiny. Lots of jewelry.
Thank you.
I think that was her way of saying that you are very beautiful too.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie. What? That wasn't a question. I was assuming you were going to ask us something. But it's very sweet. Thank you.
I just wanted to know why you came with your sister. I'm sure you had a reason.
Like we've known each other for about a day. You may have picked up on she needs to be watched.
Excuse me? I have been doing just fine.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just gonna pretend that we didn't notice that you pickpocketed those cigarettes off of me.
So you
How did
allowed
that
yourself
go?
to be pickpocketed, and I succeeded at it. What's the problem?
The problem, perhaps, was how that went.
Well,
She
I'm
made friends with the
fine.
fire.
I'm fine.
Barely. You had to be dragged through the town.
Yes, and it all worked out fine. This is why you need to let me live. See, I make my own mistakes, and I fix them.
You certainly make your own mistakes. I'm not certain which of this was you fixing them.
Clearly, I'm fine.
Right, so here to protect your sister.
No,
Yes.
she's not.
No.
She's not my keeper.
She is your sister.
Yes, but that doesn't.
And if I were
Because
your
she's my
sister, I would.
doesn't mean she has any responsibility for me.
No, but maybe she just wants to.
We can't
Oh
all
no,
have
I
what
said
we want, can we?
this is perhaps not something that I decided on myself. You know, but families.
Well,
I suppose you can't pick them. So while all this is going on, I'm just doing like like pacing a circumference of the camp and just like looking out into the dark.
Yeah, Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Nine.
9. It could be your eyes playing tricks on you, but every now and again, you think you see a cloud light up. But almost immediately afterwards, it's gone, and it's back to just the dark night sky above you. You can still see the stars, and there are many constellations, but of the few clouds that are there, infrequently, they seem to briefly light up and change color before going dim again.
Dan, are you okay? I know we're all a bit on edge, but you seem especially so.
I mean, I'm fine for now. We may have some poor weather coming our way in the not too distant future. It may
Oh,
be.
no.
Nothing about this is fine, though. I don't know. Oh, God. We have to help those people. We have to find something that we can do to make things better for them. Like, I feel terrible leaving things that way. It's not how I was raised.
And what do you think you could have done differently?
No idea.
See, I think there's a lot of
Maybe
misplaced guilt going on in this group. There's no point in feeling guilty. We didn't do anything wrong.
I don't think it's about doing anything wrong. I think it's more that how do we sit by and watch something like that happen and not... How can terrible people do terrible things and anyone not have the power to stop them? How is there not a balance in that?
That's just the way the world is, Natalie.
Life isn't fair.
If
Well,
the
I don't-
people who have the power are bad people, then what are we supposed to do? We tried.
I don't disagree that we tried. I guess it's just I would like to be the other person. I would like to be that balance, and if that puts me in difficult situations, so be it. But faced with it today, I just couldn't do it. I also
But we did
see your
try. Don't
point.
forget that.
Of course.
Also, was there a wolf?
There was
No.
not. That was me.
Oh,
Had to get that horse out of our path somehow.
horse. Oh God.
Also, Eridan, you said to the herbalist about going to another town, warning them about what happened.
I just meant perhaps we could I mean, surely we have to get supplies after this at some point. We're going to keep moving. We could just find the healer or priest or whatever cleric they have in the next town we come across, tell them what's happened in Goldford and to come with aid. I mean, there's going to be a lot of sick people for a long time, even if there's few survivors.
That's
don't
the
know.
thing I don't understand. Why would they do this to their own people? At first, the idea that they would make them sick to heal them at a cost, I mean, it was terrible, but it made sense. But if they were just straight out killing them, there's no way those people could survive even if they had the cure at hand. Why would they do this? I don't understand the motivation of killing a whole city of their own people.
Maybe they're just fuck ups. Look, I everyone bites off more than they can chew once in a while. Maybe they really did just want to make money and they had an incompetent chemist or alchemist or something, and they really messed up the dosage.
I mean, it's possible, but it seems too big for just to be a mistake.
Bryn, you
Oh, trust me, you can make huge mistakes and not realize what you're doing.
I mean, I can relate to that, but I don't know.
will unpack that later. Bryn, when we talked about distributing the cure in response to this, you mentioned about dosage. Does any of that make sense? That maybe someone in their 1 and 2 edition fucked up and added 3 instead? Is that...
I mean, it's Squire's Bane alone, I would not think so. But as soon as the magic, it was unlike something that I had seen before, the arcane runes. I'm very good at plants. I'm not very good at magic. So it could be, but I mean, just because the lackeys were telling us that it was about money. It could be about control, it could be about fear, it could be about suppressing the people. There's many things that it could be, and all we know for sure is that there's probably going to be a lot of death.
There are many higher powers that would greatly appreciate a sacrifice of this size.
I will also say real quick that I believe, Eminence, you still have that sparkler that you took from the little girl.
I gave it to the herbalist.
You
No,
gave me
yeah,
the
she did.
fire. Yeah, the firework was given to the herbalist, not the sparkler.
correct.
If they were separate things, then
I think it was just the one.
yeah, I didn't.
If only we had a sip! Oh!
I didn't want you to die.
Oh,
I
bless
said no.
Bryn, do you think if you brought this to maybe a herbalist or I don't really
don't-
know magic myself. If you told them about what happened to this person, maybe in detail, maybe we
I
could...
mean, there were very distinct symptoms of it. The closing of the airway, you could say, was because of the inhalation of the Squire's Bane, but they were very unusual. It was almost like veins or scars around the eyes that were lightning bolt shaped. I mean, there was also, during the explosion, there was blue as well as the red. So, I mean, if we could get a sample to a wizard, maybe an arcane, an artificer of some description, they might have a better idea. But that would require probably getting a whole firework. The powder, maybe as well.
Maybe, at least with the information we have, it is not safe for us to go back. Maybe it's... at least we can try and explain it as best we can. They can maybe narrow it down.
Potentially.
I mean,
I
not
know.
to be morbid, but that we could just not get involved any further.
That
Yes,
is
sure.
certainly a choice, but some would say that when you have the ability to act and choose not to do so, it's just as bad as the person committing the crime.
But what can we do at this stage? The crime is done.
It's not done and dusted, Eminence. It's still happening. We have to
Well,
try
if everybody
and do something.
has the effects come over them as quickly as that man there, it certainly is done and dusted.
Or
Well,
perhaps some
I
people
would say-
survived it.
As a herbalist, herbally speaking, that is something that I am very good at. My father was a very good herbalist. Cured many, many people. That it will not necessarily happen to everyone. Same as an allergic reaction. Some people, when the flowers start blooming, they get a little bit sneezy, a little not so good. Doesn't happen to everyone in that regard. We
As
don't
well,
know how it will affect
Even
each person.
even if we can't help the people who already have died, maybe we already know more about this than anyone else who wasn't involved. Perhaps there's something we can do to bring the ones who did it to justice. Because this town, they're not completely self-governing. They have to answer to the realm, to the king. If we can prove what they did, maybe they'll be punished.
Also,
They
what
did
if
try
it's...
to frame us, so
They
fuck
did.
them.
I think what Aery is saying, that there's always someone higher up. And we
And if they were killing their own people and we can prove that, I don't understand how they could get out of it.
What way can we gather proof now without going back? And we can't go back. There's no way. I'm shocked that half of us aren't infected. Hell, we could be with a lower dosage. I mean, if that thing was in the air, why aren't we sick?
Part that
I
gets me...
think it's not an infection, it's poison.
Hmm.
It's usually not a slow burn that we're going to wake up and then our airways are going to close in the middle of the night and we're going to start bleeding out the ears or something.
That's also why, I very much stressed that we needed to be leaving when we did.
Yes, I think we made the right call there. Well, surely whoever did this wasn't present in the town as it happened.
Or
must
maybe
be-
they were immune.
I mean, the mayor, they probably had the important people at that function. I don't know if we said, but he was throwing a party.
It's
Did
true.
they potentially have the people of note that they wanted to? We still don't know for sure who is the corrupt person in power. It definitely could be the mayor, it could be the guards, it could be... I mean, I would hate to say that it was Nikolai. He seemed very nice and he did offer us refreshments.
So sweet.
He seemed very nice, but he is still on the table as a suspect. It could have been someone that overheard us at the party. We don't know.
I think it would be very convenient, and anyone who knew this would know this. If they came back to a town and only a series of notable people were still alive. A series of people with money.
Yeah.
I
The
think if
wealthy
we...
have a way of making things go away.
But we can try. Eminence is the point.
I mean, I can certainly protect all of us from poison in the morning. Just not right now.
But we can't be protected from the gods.
That is true.
I guess more what I mean is passing it on to someone. Not passing it on to someone else, that's not right. Passing the information
the
over
word.
to a neighboring town may not be such a bad idea. Because they go in there, they see that a series of people have died, and look who seems to be immune to this. Last I heard, gold isn't a cure for poison.
Well, if
I'm sure
nothing
it is.
else, passing on the message might protect us. If someone just stumbles across this carnage in this town, we were arrested. There might be records of us.
Were we
Well,
arrested?
We weren't arrested. They just wanted to.
Well, they tried to, yes.
They did try.
And
We
only the
did
guards
manage
who
to give false names.
But what if they picked us on purpose? What if they already know who we are?
I was
Yes,
wondering about
And
that.
we
Why
might
us?
still be framed for this.
How long had you
How-
guys been in town?
I mean,
They couldn't have known that we were coming.
I'd
Could they
been
have
there
known
less
how
than a night. Like I just arrived in town and bought some supplies, and then I woke up in that room with the rest of you.
Hmm.
I think that's pretty much the same
Did
for
they
everyone,
choose
right?
us?
Just as a
think
DM
so.
question there.
But
Yeah.
why us?
Because we just arrived, clearly, except for you and your sister, none of us have anything in common. We'd never
Yeah.
even met.
It does seem weird that they targeted, what, 6 of us? Just as random people to come in? There must have been some selection process.
I mean, maybe it was the right place, well, wrong place, wrong time. Because coming in for a festival, they must have quite a few outsiders coming through. It's surely there was a lot of people. They can't all live specifically in the town.
And Oriana, remember when we were lured in to the room, he seemed to know who we were.
we were specifically targeted?
Yes.
That's not good.
No, well, perhaps although it does mean we might have a bit more of a lead, because if they knew exactly who the two of you were, if you, like, who would be after you? I mean, look, I'll be honest. I have my own history, but there's nothing involved in this that smacks of the people who are after me, and trust me, we would know.
So who exactly is after you?
Yes, should we be concerned?
I do want to clarify something real quick before we get too far away from this. The two of you, the powder salesman, he specifically said praise Asmodeus, and your father has a pretty big rivalry with Asmodeus. So
That's
you
also
get the sense
not
that
something we'd want the party to know about us. but
Yeah. You get the sense that he just looking back at the situation now with a more clear view of how everyone else was also selected. You get the sense that he was racist. He was profiling, and then he was like, "What's one name that I can immediately identify with tieflings? This one."
right.
Am I too vain
So-
to think that maybe he didn't know exactly who I am?
Yes, see, the problem is we both are very vain people
Sure. Yeah.
who would assume that if we were targeted, it's because they know precisely who we are.
Yeah, I just want to point that out because in the greater context of the universe, saying praise Asmodeus would be like a really big red flag. That would be like, oh yeah, your mom sent you, and you're like, what's my mom's name? And they're like, Janet. And your mom's name is Margaret. You're like, I'm not getting in that van no matter how much candy you have.
Unfortunately, we were already in the van.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, please continue.
Yeah,
Right.
so who got you cornered, bud? That's out of character, obviously.
No one. We don't need to be concerned about them for the time being. And if they do come for me, they will come only for me. It's my father's business contacts. Let's leave it at that for now. And certainly should nothing to do with this.
I am suspicious. Just let that be known.
Yes, let's make a note of everyone is suspicious
The
of
party
that.
will remember this.
While this whole conversation is going on, Bryn is making herbal tea for everyone, and at this point is like handing everyone cups of herbal tea.
Plus,
Can I like help her by like being like, you know, when someone cuts a cake and they're like putting all the
Oh
pieces
yeah,
of the
you're
cake
like
on
holding the
plates?
cups and
Yeah.
I'm pouring them, and then you're handing them. Yeah, absolutely.
And doing like the run around, like, oh, there you go.
oh, thank you.
Well,
Bryn, I think you're the only one who hasn't said what brought you to town.
oh, well, I don't really have an interesting tale as to how I got here in particular, but I've been, just trying to help people on my way through. My father just recently passed away not long ago, and my mother thought it would be good for me to see the world. I actually was doing a similar thing to the herbalist in my own town, but I did not quite have the finesse that my father did with the more arcane sides of healing, and I was always much better at accompanying him on expeditions to keep him safe. So I just kind of ended up here. I know that sounds very vague and very odd, but just traveling and just trying to find some new medicines and things to take back to my own village.
I mean, in the end, I guess we all kind of just ended up here. But it seems like we're in it together now, don't you think?
It seems a little like fate.
I can
Whoever-
certainly drink to that. And Bryn will like hold her cup up to like the center of the little cluster for everyone if anyone wants to partake in a group cheers, and she'll like awkwardly hover until at least someone clinks her glass.
Wholesome.
From a camp watch standpoint, I would vote to take first watch. If we're all going when we go to
I'll
sleep.
I'll stay up with you for now.
I need to sleep. I'm getting a terrible headache.
I understand it's been a very big day.
I wonder why. I'll take second watch.
I'll take.
Oh, really? Really?
Well,
It's a bit rough. Just take drugs. Just smoke the shit that we found in the dead guy.
Yeah, look,
I
maybe she won't smoke dead men now.
I have walked away from the fire and am setting myself up for the night, pretending I can't hear a damn thing.
Awesome.
I didn't really sleep, so I can take whatever watch. I'll probably just hang around on whoever's watch after I rest for 4 hours.
I would also
Oh, yeah,
like to
'cause
point
you-
out that Eminence has no idea how to set herself up for the night and is kind of just pushing leaves into a pile and hoping no one notices.
Also, all of our camping shit would have been on our horses, which we never found. So we're a little bit we don't have a tent anymore.
Barry definitely doesn't own a tent.
For Erin and Natalie's watch, I would just like to say that Natalie would be maybe just kind of asking really mundane questions, have you spent long in the woods, all that kind of thing, just really, really, really mundane stuff. That kind of awkward small talk kind of situation.
Wait,
So,
who are you on watch?
I'm with Eridan.
So,
yes.
so I'd be answering, but it would be kind of distracted responses and fairly short. So, literally, the last question, I'd just go, about a month, not long, and then just nothing. I'm not giving her anything to have a conversation, not out of spite or anything. Just I'm too busy concentrating on the woods.
And Natalie is also looking out, but as she's doing that, she's also absentmindedly rolling some rope around some sticks. And
I don't
she's
know
just
why. I thought you were going to say rolling blunts.
yes, no drugs
Rolling
for you,
a
but for
doobie.
me. But yeah, she's just
24 hours sleep.
she's kind of got these sticks in almost like a stick figure's way, and then she's rolling some rope around it to make this little thing. And but as she's doing it, she's staring out, she doesn't even need to look down to do it. And she's looking out into the forest, but she's just kind of going stars. Do you have those where you come from? What about those? Have you seen that before? Was that a
Of
bird?
course, we have stars.
I mean, not all places.
I
have
studied them
stars.
at the Bards College.
The Bards College, huh? What was that like?
It's study. It's like anything.
I've
I
never
can't-
studied.
Is there something in particular that you're after?
I'm just asking questions. Just want to get to know you. That's fine. I can just hum to myself. It's fine. You don't have to say anything.
Look, if there's not something coming after us from the town, then there will be soon. We need to concentrate on the woods. And who knows what else is out there. It's a cold night.
I don't know about you, but I am capable of concentrating on two things at once, but I get the hint. It's fine. And she'll just kind of walk to the opposite side of the camp and just sit down and just starts humming something to herself as she's looking out.
And the first watch passes without incident. That said, Eridan, every now and again you do see shapes dancing just beyond the light of the fire, in the shade, in the shadow. But never get close enough to the light to be identified. They never stop moving long enough to allow your eyes to focus. That said, this is nothing new for you. Second watch? Is there anything anyone wants to do on second watch?
I think
No,
that was me and Oriana, wasn't it?
I've got Oriana,
Oh.
Bryn.
Yeah. I guess.
I want a small talk, but I didn't think enough about what I would like to small talk.
Um,
I'm prepared.
Bryn will bring out, like, when they're, like, sitting, so Bryn puts, because she's noticed that Eminence and Oriana don't really have any camping shit. So at least for the watch, Bryn gets her blanket and, like, folds it up so that they can sit on, like, something squishy and, like, something nice to sit on, and, like, kind of lays that down so that we can sit on something nice while we're doing watch at least.
Oh, that's lovely. I don't know. If
Oriana say
Oriana
that out loud?
I'm like, I don't know if she would be articulate
see.
enough to be like, thank you for being nice to me, or if she'd just like silently accept. Just like maybe she'll like be like, this is my cloak. You can also wear my cloak. I'm being nice.
Oh, but no, you can keep that on. It is just for both of us to sit on. It's fine.
Thank you. So how you said your father died? That's not a good topic of conversation.
Oh, no, it's fine. It is a natural part of life, so you can't hang on to that for too long. He had a very good life. He made a lot of people very happy, and he helped a lot of people.
Our fathers are very different people.
Bryn's kind of like, yes, we definitely have different fathers, so that would make them different people.
So anything? You hear anything out in the forest?
I mean, nothing that really strikes me as anything outside of woods noises. Do you play? And Bryn's gonna pull out. She has a little dragon chess set.
Oh, I think I actually do.
Oh my god, can we actually have like a genuine roll-off where we have two people that actually know how to play dragon chess?
I actually have dragon chess on my sheet.
Okay.
Actually, it's not. Wait, there are inconsistencies. It's not on my D&D Beyond sheet, but it's on my other one. So
That's fine.
I'll have to switch that.
Maybe you just didn't input your background in D&D Beyond or something, or like your character extra stuff.
Well, no, so I have it as a tool marked under because I have the noble background, but it's selected in D&D Beyond. It says playing cards instead of dragon chess.
Gotcha.
But it's on my.
Yeah, that's no worries. Yeah, do you guys want to play?
I always pick dragon chess because I don't know what it is and it sounds like fun.
I'm thinking of like wizards chess, but all dragon pieces, and they're just like fucking each other's shit up on the board. It moves itself, and they're like fighting at each other. Not really, but
yeah. So dragon chess is just like a regular chessboard, but the pieces are called dragons, and different colored dragons stand for different pieces. One side plays the chromatics, and the other plays the metallics.
Do you like metallic or chromatic?
Chromatic.
Bryn will set up the pieces. Like, also very carefully, obviously, we're looking around while we're playing it, but we're just passing the time. We're completely engrossed in dragon chess, and there's a pack of wolves sneaking in and eating our friends, but we don't care right now.
The game is more important.
Just imagining this absolute stare-off. Like, oh, man.
Yeah, so it has its own set of rules. The way that we'll do it is we will just do straight intelligence checks unless you can convince me to use something otherwise.
Can I use insight to try and see if I can be like playing 4D chess and I'm like guessing her moves 6 moves ahead by reading her body language?
Sure. So I will let you. So the way we'll do it is we'll split it into 3 rounds. I will let you do an action on a round and then roll an insight check. And how your action comes out is going to determine how difficult your intelligence is going to be. And whoever has the more intelligence, the higher intelligence at the end, wins. So you're going to insight first.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and insight, and then Oriana, is there anything you want to do at the beginning, or are you just going to play?
I was just gonna play.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
Intimidate.
I will intimidate you into not playing.
Piece and she pulls a knife and like, I suggest another
You
piece.
better lose.
Okay, so if you're just going to play intelligence, what was your insight?
That's dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So Oriana, are you an aggressive Dragon Chess player? Are you like, you go hard in the paint to win games?
Oh yeah, at absolutely everything. And if there's an opportunity to cheat, which I don't think there is at any kind of chess, she would also do that.
Sure. So the two of you trade back and forth a couple of moves, and Bryn, you're trying to pay super close attention to Oriana's style. Immediately, she just comes out with a very, very aggressive opening that leaves her back line a little bit undefended that you might be able to take advantage of if she doesn't see it in time. So let's go ahead and get an intelligence check for the two of you.
Oh no.
I already rolled it.
All right, what'd you get?
19.
19?
Oh, that does look like
I
a happy face.
I also got a 19, but it's -1.
Oh.
I'm very excited by that.
I'm so excited about this chess.
I didn't know that intelligence would come into this, okay?
You see that the back line is open, and you're like, awesome, I just need one more move, and then I can get my bronze dragon into her back line. And, oh my god.
You know what I mean.
Aggressive.
My watch just was like, it's 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. Go to bed. So you sort of see this opening. Oriana picks up one of her green dragons and is about to set it down and hesitates for just a moment and looks and sees her back line and puts the green dragon down and repositions another piece to close the gap, allowing her to take a piece advantage. So we're in round 2. Oriana has taken round 1. Is there anything either of you want to do?
Well, I guess not, because I'm not seeing how insight is gonna probably help in the long run with her being a little bit of a dumb bitch. But she means well, so
I think maybe insight in this case would be trying to understand Oriana more as a person.
that's it. Look, it's not about the victory; it's about the friends we make along the way. Okay, and
that's how you
and the
feel.
dragons we take.
Yeah. But if Bryn's picking that up with her insight check, that the win's gonna mean a lot more to Oriana than to Bryn, she would happily not. But she also understands that if she just rolls over and hands the victory over, that's also a bad thing. So she's gonna very carefully fence through her pieces and put up a fight, but then oh, my backline, how did I possibly miss that I didn't have a piece defending my platinum dragon?
Sure, so for you, it is your gold dragon is your king.
Okay, my gold dragon.
And for Oriana, it is your red dragon. It used to be platinum versus Tiamat, but then it was like, why does the board game have a religious connotation? So all the modern ones are in red. So if you want to make a deception check, I will let you roll intelligence with disadvantage.
Deception, 19. Yep. So then I roll with disadvantage for the intelligence.
So roll with disadvantage for your intelligence, yeah. And what was your intelligence, Oriana?
The new one is 17.
17.
My new thank you advantage is a nat 1, -1, so it's real bad.
So with that maneuver, you're accidentally sacking pieces here and there and giving up more and more of the board, and you're like, oh, I'm going to make this one really aggressive push that looks like I'm going to reclaim control. And as that thought enters your brain, Oriana just comes over and knocks over your gold dragon and wins the game completely.
Very well played, I must say.
Thank you. I would like to say the same.
Oh, jeez.
Bryn will just smile and I've never said I was good, I just said I played.
And then there's awkward silence. For
Yeah,
the
and
rest
then
of
there's
the
just
watch.
like, and Brina would just like silently pack up her like chess pieces and then just kind of just like, so it's a very nice night apart from all the death and stuff that's happening like over in that direction.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if we don't think about that, certainly it's a nice night.
And then I guess just resume watch.
Yep. Then
Stare
watch.
opposite directions.
Yeah, they're like sitting
Yeah.
quite close together, but like a 45-degree angle away, like facing away from each other.
Very cute. The watch passes without incident. Third watch is Aery and Eminence.
Oh no! I
Oh,
just
no.
realized
You.
And then we all died.
Excuse me? You guys weren't even properly watching.
You guys are
But
playing
we're
chess.
just, like, I'm just like imagining that just like Eminence is gonna put Oriana's hand in a warm bowl of water and then just like commence watch from there.
Oh, first of all, Eminence is a little surprised to be woken up because she did not volunteer to watch at all.
Shit.
So she kind of stumbles over to where Aery is sitting and plops down next to him.
Aery would have some tea and he would hand her some.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
I guess we should watch for dangers, don't you think?
well, yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
I'll look over here, and
Okay.
if you look over that way,
That sounds good. I think that will work.
can you see in the dark?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, good, me too.
Aren't we special? So
Yes.
should we roll to see if we're doing a good job? I think.
Do you make a perception check? Sure.
Aren't we supposed to? Isn't that what everyone else did?
Nobody else
No,
did.
we just rolled
Nobody
our
else did?
chest.
Okay, we just assume that we're good at it then. Maybe every once in a while we go for like a little stroll around the perimeter, not like a regimented sort of stroll, but just like go for like a cute walk.
I mean, I did just
leisurely.
roll and get a dirty 20, so there's that.
Dirty 20, but like not for perception, just for walking.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Yeah,
on walking around the camp
I had
successfully.
a relatively
For, like
pleasant night.
looking cute in the forest.
Oh my
That's what my
god,
roll's for. Let me see how cute I look in the forest. I'm gonna get a
we should
fucking
take
one.
some Insta snaps in the forest.
Yeah. I'm not even saying what that roll was.
That one.
My dice are so cursed today.
Yikes. You're like, wow, we look so, and you just trip over a branch.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh no, I'm not a good adventure at all. I should just go back to being rich and famous.
You were famous?
Well, you know, in certain circles.
Which circles?
Rich ones, powerful ones, but you know, the sort that don't like kill a whole city of people.
That helps.
As far as I know, you know, none of them seemed like they would, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, the interesting thing is I don't believe I've heard of you.
Well, you haven't been asking the right people.
Clearly not.
Why? Where do you come from?
It's far from here. Look, I wouldn't say I am wealthy, but some people might see me that way.
You have that air about you.
Well, it's crass to talk about, isn't it?
Is it the rich people always talk about how rich they are?
No, people who want to be rich always talk about how rich they are.
Tell that to kings, because I think that they are probably pretty rich, and they will not fucking shut up about it.
That is true. I like your brooch.
Oh, you. It was given to me by someone very special.
Ah, someone very special?
Well, they used to be very special. I mean, they still are. They're just dead. But still special. Do dead people get to be special? I don't really know.
I'm sure they're very special.
They would I. I don't know how much about my life you want to hear. It's probably not very interesting to you.
I mean, I have literally nothing else to do.
That's true. But to be fair, I would like to know more about you, because you say you are from far away, but I'm from here, and that's kind of boring.
Well, it's interesting to me because I'm not from here.
Oh, I suppose that makes sense. Well, don't tell anyone. Actually, you can tell people. I just don't know how everyone is going to take it. But you seem very understanding. I used to be, how do you say, a courtesan? Which is how I knew the rich people. It's also how I knew that they were rich, because they would give me their money.
No, I love that and I understand completely. Actually, yes, that makes a lot of sense. See, darling, truly rich people, they don't talk about it unless they think that they're talking to someone beneath them. And unfortunately, I understand. I'm a woman, and you're a courtesan, so you are often treated the same way women are treated. They might have, unfortunately, some people think less of what you do. I don't, but some
That
people
kind
do.
of makes sense, though. Although I never picked up on it. But now I feel really bad.
Please don't feel bad. You didn't know.
Oh, but now I do.
There are so many things I can teach you.
I would like to learn. There are a lot of things I don't know. Although I've done a lot of things, I still in some ways was very sheltered. And I'm so bad at running, although you can't really teach me that. You're pretty bad at running too.
These bloody heels.
But they look so good!
I know!
Anyway.
We'll just bond over heels for the rest of our life.
First stop when you guys get to the next town, adventuring boots. Low heel. Okay, the watch passes without incident. Morning dawns on a brand new sky. The birds are chirping. The sun is set to shine. It looks to be another scorcher, as spring is now just officially in bloom as of yesterday evening. As the rest of you pack up camp, what's next for the group?
Where about
Breaking
here?
cups. Yeah.
I guess we're moving to the next town. Was kind of the consensus that we had.
Yes. We all very
Somewhat.
much need a wash and a change of clothes. I suggest we head for a town.
Do we know where the next town is, like out of character? Does anyone have like a map or some shit? We just go in
And
back
where
the way
one
we
might
came.
be that has like a serious healer, like a proper cleric or something.
Hey.
Yeah, so the next large town is about a week away. There are smaller villages. There is a medium-sized village about 3 days away, further to the east. You know that there are probably also sort of one-off taverns along the road that you could probably stop at and go to rest for. Yeah, so the closest town, like village, is about 3 days away, but like a large sized would have an infrastructure to potentially handle something like this is a week away, at least on foot.
Aery would vote for the closest town so he could buy a horse because he is not going to walk for a week.
I think it's very fair.
Yes.
We can do a drive-by. Hey, next town's hacked. Move on.
Sure. I actually think that this is probably a good spot to end today's session because I got a lot of work to do now. And I've also got some things that I would like to talk to you guys about as well, behind the scenes, so that we can get ready for the next episode. So, in that case, as the party starts to make its way towards the next town over to do what they can to attempt to help Goldford, that is where we shall depart from them for the time being. On behalf of everyone, my name is Dom, and why don't we go ahead and talk about what we do and where we can find us if you're interested in more of the things that all of us can do and do like voodoo. I believe, Bryn, you were up first.
Yeah. So goodbye, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us for that roller coaster of emotions session. It was the best of times. It definitely was the worst of times at several points. My name is Alishiera. I'm a content creator for Legacy Sports. I stream 5 days a week, doing variety streaming. So lots of Blimio blames, but also things like making Bulgarian fortresses out of gingerbread, which we're finishing tomorrow. So yeah, that's me. I do things. If you want to like find any of my shit, it's like at the name below. Anything, any social media I have, it's Alishiera. So there's that.
Awesome. Eminence.
Thanks, guys. I've been Nicole. I don't really do much online, but if I am not doing this or working, I'm playing Animal Crossing at the moment. So hey, if anyone wants to put their friend code like in the chat, I'll add you on Animal Crossing.
Should we have an Animal Crossing channel in, or like an like play with people channel in our Discord?
Yes, we should do that.
That's probably a very good idea.
We'll
yeah,
make this.
that's about it. So thanks, guys.
Awesome. Arden.
Hey, I'm Josh at Blade Aradan. I don't do social media really or content create, so I will just continue to be a hermit in a hidden corner of the internet. Have a good night.
And the internet has plenty of corners for all of us. Aery.
Hello, I played Aery, but my name is Jimmy, or you can call me Cat or whatever. I am also a streamer and cosplay and artist. Mostly on stream I do art, but at the moment I'm also playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline, so if you would like to check that out, just a note that if you want to see more of what we do, like individually, you can click on our panels down below the stream, and it should take you to a link tree or a link to our main socials.
Oriana.
Hi, I am Maleficent88, or Mel. I played Oriana today. I stream and cosplay and talk a whole load of shit on basically every social media platform that I have access to. I'm currently like on a real Dragon Age bender, so I'll be doing that tomorrow and Tuesday. And Friday, just anytime I have time. So yeah, link trees and shit down there if you're keen. That's me.
Super keen. Awesome. Natalie.
Hi, I'm BurrowsRed. I play Natalie. I do things occasionally. I'm also playing Dragon Age because I convinced everyone that they need to play Dragon Age. Now I feel kind of sad for any kind of viewers that come to all of our respective channels because all it is just Dragon Age.
There are so many of us playing Dragon Age,
but also
her fault.
Stop me! I swear, I will bloody. Anyway,
fight.
Actually, on rating news, there is a heckin' cool channel. Colorado came and spoke to me about their campaign, and they're doing it right now. So that's somewhere where we're going. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Awesome. Get that raid train.
Oh, yes.
Done your own outro.
It's
Half outro, I guess. I'm Dom. I do Dungeons and Dragons and DM stuff. You can normally find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dom Romer, which is one of these. However, I am currently not doing that right now because my laptop almost exploded. So we're running on a 5-year-old tablet. But that said, Stadia and GeForce Now is legit the future. I'm playing The Witcher at better graphics than I've ever played it before on like full desktop computers with no lag. So if you have the capacity for that and you've got a couple of bucks, absolutely worth it. Brought to you by GeForce. That said, I really look forward to the next few sessions. I will say that my early plot for this was pretty bare bones, but the more and more that I play with you guys, it's really starting to skeleton together and spider out. You guys are giving me a lot, so I'm excited for next 2 weeks session, and then where we go from there.
Oh yeah, this is fortnightly, so the next time you'll see us will be on the 24th. And just before we go off in our raid, Josh, show us your kitty. Show us the kitty. Show us the kitty.
Hey! Yippee!
Has someone linked the raid message?
Oh,
Nah, we're just spamming emotes. Just go for
Okay,
it.
so
Just emotes for raids. Kitty!